Okay, welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry. This is, part 31, in which I have to re-record, but 20 minutes in, I probably would already know, but I'm not gonna, figure that out anyway, but this 20 minutes in, oh my god. Yeah, you'll see why I'm getting irritated about it at times. But where we last left off, you know, the third letter straight up, appeared out of nowhere on the table inside the study room, and then Natsuki just, freaked the fuck out and was like, "There's a suspect among us," and straight up just pulled out the gun, in which she still has. So she pointed fingers at, Kumasawa, Genji, Maria, and Nanjo, and unfortunately, the four decided to be like, "Oh fuck it, I don't think we have any choice. We have to leave." And of course, gee, I wonder why. You know, the four the four, would be part of a sacrifice or whatnot. Anyway, let's continue reading. I half forced the receiver from the stunned Aunt Natsuki's hand and pressed it against my ear. At first, I didn't hear anything, but because I had been told about it beforehand, I noticed. It sounded far away from the receiver, rather than someone speaking in a quiet voice, and it sounded like a girl singing a song. That voice did sound like Maria's, but that just made the situation even more inexplicable. At the very least, the one who had made the phone call hadn't been Maria. After all, Maria was singing some song far away from the receiver. In that case, the one who made the phone call should have been Genji-san, Kumasawa-san, or Dr. Nanjo. And yet, they weren't saying anything. Why? For what reason? The person who made this phone call, who was it?
おい、もしもし、誰だ、返事をしろ。歌ってるのはマリアなのか。返事をしてくれ。
何が起こってんだよ。どういうことだ。
わからねえ。一つ言えることは、多分これは罠で、そしてマリアが危険だってことだけだ。
Aunt Natsuki took the receiver again, but after yelling into it several more times, she realized that she wasn't getting anywhere and hung up. Oh. After that, she dialed quickly. Then she clicked her tongue. That's right, if the phones are working, we should be able to reach the police. But judging by Aunt Natsuki's reaction, the outside telephone line still didn't connect. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure, some magic shit actually made the phones work temporarily, so. Didn't connect.
行こう。罠かもしれないことは分かってても、行かないわけにはいかない。ああ、まったくだぜ。ジェシカと夏井おばさんはここにいてくれ。
You two are gonna go off on your own? Boy, you two are dead. When Aniki and I tried to dash out, Aunt Natsuki stopped us.
お待ちなさい。あなたたちだけに行かせるわけにはいきません。私も行きます。ジェシカはここで待ちなさい。私だけのけ者かよ。
Wow, leaving Jessica alone in the study room.
冗談じゃない。私も行くぜ。
Alright, so it's gonna be the four of them this time. Enjoy the suffering. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm just looking at Discord.
その方がいいかもしれねえぜ。電話が俺たちをさらに分散させる狙いがあるってんなら、留守番を残すのは適当じゃねえ。
Sorry about that.
議論する暇も惜しい。みんなで行こう。
We don't have time for games. And Natsuki raised the rifle high and took the lead. Rifle high and took the lead. I couldn't go unarmed myself. I found a three-pronged candle stand and readied it. Although the pins on it used to fit candles were short, it was almost like a three-pronged spear. Wait, so the two of them are using weapons, but the other two are unarmed. Then the four of us left the study. We left the study, which should have been the safest place inside the mansion. By doing this, we had been lured out, even though we had barricaded ourselves in a safe, closed room. Perhaps we were doing exactly the same thing Grandfather had done when he disappeared from that room. What a coincidence. I listened closely but didn't hear anything. The mansion was vast, and since the passing typhoon was making its last stand, the sound of the rain was even noisier than before. Yep. Seems like it.
マリアちゃんは確か客までテレビを見たいと言ってたよね。
She did say something about watching TV, so that I'm pretty sure the rest of four went to the parlor.
階下に降りてみよ
No shit, she says he watched TV. Doesn't he already give you a clue or?
そうですね。
Fucking hell, George.
行ってみましょう。みんなは周りに用心して。
う。おい。
With Aunt Natsuki in the center, her rifle readied and her finger on the trigger, we moved in a group, our backs together, checking our surroundings in all directions. It was just as though the magic of that magic circle designed to spread discord had worked. We had split up, and furthermore, had been dragged out into dangerous territory. In other words, even now, we were doing just what the culprit wanted us to do. This was a separate world where it wouldn't be odd for anything to suddenly occur. And Natsuki nervously pointed the barrel of the gun at every dark spot and shadow. It felt like that motion was out of fear rather than caution. But the rifle she held in her hand should have been a trump card that the culprit feared.
僕はずっと思ってたんだ。カノン君のように胸にあのアイスピックを突き刺すことは不可能ではないと思う。でも母さんたちのように頭蓋骨を打ち抜いて眉間に突き立てるなんて簡単なことじゃないと思うんだ。
Oh. Well, what if they're using crossbows or some shit like that? You know, unless the culprit is brutally strong as shit. So, but you know, who knows? The witch is powerful and all.
犯人はそれだけバカ力ってことか。
Maybe.
多分あのアイスピックを飛ばす、あるいは打ち込む射出機のような武器があるんだよ。人力だけであれだけ深々と衝突するにはあの絵は短すぎる。
いずれにせよ頭蓋骨を打ち抜くほどに強力です。カノンの傷も肺にまで届いていたそうです。
Oh my.
もし相手の姿を見ても決して前に出ないように。私の後ろから出てはいけませんよ。
Just how sinister and frightening was the weapon that could shoot those creepy ice picks? And could I do anything to combat it with just this candle stand in my hand? In the first murder, the culprit probably assaulted all four of our parents at once as they discussed the inheritance problem in the dining hall, and there were four of us here now. Apparently, I wasn't the only person thinking this. George Aniki, Jessica, and of course, Aunt Natsuki were stretching their senses to the utmost limit, in the highest and worst state of tension, slowly advancing one step then another. Ah, what have we done? Because of the seed of doubt spread by that one letter, we threw Maria and the rest into the middle of this terrifying world. Well, there you go. That somebody was fucking self-aware. We finally reached the first floor. The parlor was just across the hall. When we listened carefully, we could hear it faintly, Maria's eerie singing voice. She wasn't singing naturally, as though she were in a good mood. She was singing mechanically, like she was at a graduation ceremony and she'd been ordered to. The song she sang was just a common folk song, one that everyone has probably sung in school at one time or another. But why that in the middle of the night, alone, with all her heart, over and over? Why? Right after leaving the study, we had called out in loud voices, asking Maria where she was. But this time no one said even a single word. We hid our breath and the sound of our footsteps, and intensely focused on our surroundings to the point of being completely high-strung. We stepped forward. The door to the parlor was closed, but we could hear Maria's singing voice through it. And Natsuhi put her hand on the handle of the doorknob when George Aniki stopped her.
扉は僕が開ける。夏日おばさんとバトラ君は武器を構えてて。
わかりました。気をつけて。
開けると同時に攻撃してくるかもしれないぜ。ジョージ兄さん、注意して。
うん。
Sure.
じゃあ、行くよ。
Well, here goes. He tried to open it, but immediately felt the hard resistance of the lock. Aunt Natsuki took the bundle of keys from her pocket and gave them to George. There were about 10 keys, and none of us had a clue which was which. Because of this, George had to fumble around loudly and test several of the keys. Since we had hidden our footsteps, preparing to make a surprise attack on the room, this felt almost fatal. The whole time, we could hear Maria's voice from the parlor, singing the same song over and over. It was like a broken, crazy cassette tape. We'd been in that room almost constantly since morning. All the frightening things had occurred outside that room. That had left us with the impression that only this room was safe. That baseless impression was quickly falling apart.
開いた。
Oh, here goes.
ありがとう。ジョージ君とジェシカは後ろに下がって。
おばさん、一気に飛び込んで左右に分かれよう。扉を開けてボサッとしてたら、例のアイスピックがど真ん中に飛んでくるかもしれねえぜ。
承知しています。いいですか
Fucking goober.
やっぱ嫌だって言いてえな。
I readied myself. If they're gonna be throwing ice picks, I'll whack them with this candle stand.
行きます。
Alright. We are now inside the parlor. Aunt Natsuki and I rammed into the door before flying into the parlor, quickly splitting up left and right and searching the parlor for someone who might be waiting for us. But what our eyes landed upon was an incredibly strange sight. The parlor was stained with blood. This place, where we spent almost the entire day, where we pressed in together to protect ourselves from some unknown malice, had been stained with fresh blood, had become an ocean of blood. On the floor lay Genji-san, Kumasawa-san, and Dr. Nanjo, their entire bodies stained bright red with the blood. But the only way we could identify them was by their clothes. That was because, that's right, this is how the whole tragedy started. Their faces, just like our smashed up parents in the shed, You couldn't tell where their eyes stopped and their noses began. It was as though they'd rudely plunged their faces into tomato pot pies. I never heard of a tomato pot pie before in my life, but pretty sure there's a recipe online. Anyway, all squished up. Whoa. Oh my god. This banger of a track right there. Holy shit. Give me a copyright claim, but who cares? And that wasn't all. Their bodies had other wounds. It was those demon ice picks. They were in Genji-san's stomach, Dr. Nanja's thigh. No, his knee? That's right, of course, it's his knee. In the epitaph, the sixth twilight was the stomach, and on the seventh twilight, the knee was gouged. Wait a minute. So if we go to tip, and the epitaph right here, so the stomach is Genji, the knee is Nanjo, and the leg is Kumasawa. And if you see the little glimpse of her, I'm pretty sure Maria was standing, so... Anyway. Is the characters updated though? That's the thing. Oh my god! It just updated right straight away. Holy shit. Genji. Found in the parlor with a weapon resembling an ice pick having been rammed into his stomach and his face smashed. On the sixth twilight, gouged the stomach and killed. Nanjo. Karamasa. Ronoi Genji. Found in the parlor with a weapon resembling an ice pick having been rammed into his thigh and his face smashed. On the seventh twilight, gouged the knee and killed. Found in the parlor. Kumasawa Chiya. Found in the parlor with a weapon resembling an ice pick, having been rammed into her calf and her face smashed. On the eighth twilight, gouged the leg and killed. Knee and gouged. So after seeing one of them stuck near Kumasawa Bachan's calf, I couldn't help masochistically laughing. Ah, that's right. On the sixth twilight, gouged the stomach and killed. On the seventh twilight, gouged the knee and killed. On the eighth twilight, gouged the leg and killed. Ah, now even the eighth twilight is over. And the next one, the ninth twilight. What was it again? Maria was there. Oh my goodness. It was just standing in the facing the wall with all the blood around. She was facing the wall in the inner part of the room, standing stock still, completely alone. She faced away from this horrible scene, standing by the wall, singing her song over and over. There was nothing else in the room. Just the corpses of the three who had been brutally killed, and the phone receiver, which was still off its hook, proving that this was the room the call had come from. Well, there you go, the phone. You know, oh my god. Just that and Maria, her back to this scene as she kept on singing while facing the wall. We couldn't even scream at this bizarre scene. We could only stare, shocked, with our mouths hanging loosely open.
Mario.
Jessica called after her, but Maria showed no reaction. Alone, she kept singing on and on. We had come here, trying to save Maria from some approaching danger. So, now that we have found her, we should have been running up to Maria, hugging her, joyous that she was safe. And yet, not one of us could do that. Everyone thought it. but they couldn't say it. After all, because, that's right. Even if that's crazy, no, it couldn't be.
マリア、歌うのをやめろ。聞いてるのか？
At some point, Natsuhi and I had pointed our weapons at Maria's back. I yelled at Maria in a violent voice, but there was no reaction. She just kept singing. With the candle stand still ready, I ran up to her and violently slammed my hand down on her shoulder. Then I pulled on her shoulder, forcing her to turn around. Well, at least now we know that Maria is still alive, but the other three are dead. So that makes it what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 13 are dead and 5 are alive remaining. Although, well, yeah, that. Maria's small body was quickly pulled down and fell, and as though unhappy at having her singing interrupted, Maria looked into my face and with her usual expression. Even in this gruesome situation, she was just like normal.
マリア、これはどういうことなんだ？誰がやった？
おお、ベアトリーチェ。
いい加減にしろ！
Oh my god. I threw the candle stand I'd been holding against the wall. The violence of that reckless sound should have gone straight into Maria's heart, but Maria's expression didn't change at all.
よすんだバトラ君。マリアちゃん、今度こそ君は3人を殺す犯人の顔を見たはずだよ。犯人は君に手紙を渡したというベアトリーチェなのかい？
おお、ベアトリーチェ。
ああ、ならこれで確定したぜ。19人目はいるんだよ。ベアトリーチェは実在するんだ。じゃあマリア、これくらいは教えてくれるよな。奴はこの3人をどうやって殺したんだ？何をどうやったらあんなむごい殺し方ができるんだ？
知らない。
She doesn't even know because she was busy singing her heart out.
知らねえってことはねえだろ。この部屋での出来事だぞ。歌を歌うのに夢中で気づかなかったとか言い出すんじゃねえだろうな。
Maybe.
落ち着いてバトラ君。マリアちゃん、僕とお話ししようね。
George Aniki, as he always did, crouched down next to Maria so that their eyes met and talked to her very kindly.
マリアちゃんはどうして壁を向いてお歌を歌っていたのかな？
That's the exact same question I would want to ask.
おお、ベアトリーチェがここでね、壁を向いてお歌をずっと歌っていなさいって言ったの。おお。
じゃあベアトリーチェがここへやってきたんだね。その時にはまだ源氏さんたちは生きていたんだよね。
おお。みんなで客間に来て座ってた。源氏さんはちゃんと鍵をかけてたよ。
Well, at least we know that the door was locked by someone that was in the room.
確かに鍵はかかってたが、じゃあどうやってベアトリーチェは客間に入ってきたってんだよ。
おお。でもベアトリーチェは魔女だから鍵なんか関係ない。
Look, His spirits don't do shit for when it comes to locks. Locks don't. Okay, I was meant to say the other way around. Locks don't even do shit when it comes to spirits. No.
蝶々になって扉の隙間から通り抜けてきたんだよ。
はあ？冗談も休み休み言いやがれ。そんなわけねえだろ。お前は何を言ってやがるんだ。
信じられないよね。だから言いたくなかった。どうせ言っても信じないもん。でもベアトリーチェは魔女なの。不思議な魔法で何でもできるの。だからベアトリーチェは鍵のかかった扉なんか全然関係ないんだよ。
それで現れたベアトリーチェは、そしてみんなはどうしたの？
ベアトリーチェは言ったよ。おじいさまの書斎は強力な力に守られていてどうしても入れない。だからあと3人の生贄はこの客間の4人の中から選ぶって。みんな嫌だって言ったよ。熊沢さんは嫌だ嫌だってすごい言ってた。
It's like Maria's enjoying it.
でもベアトリーチェは選ぶよ。そしたらね、ベアトリーチェはマリアはいいよって言ってくれたの。どうしてだと思う？バトラがマリアの安全を祈って念を込めてくれたあの火星の5の魔法陣のサソリのお守りがあったからだよ。だからその力でベアトリーチェはマリアにだけは何もできなかった。だから生贄はマリアじゃない3人に決まったの。そしたらね、ベアトリーチェはね言ったの。
さあさあ、壁に向かってお歌を歌って聞かせなさい。あなたはたくさんたくさんお歌を歌うから、何が起こっても何が聞こえても聞こえない聞こえないわからない。
No matter what happens, no matter what you hear, you won't hear you, you won't hear you, you won't know.
さあさあ、楽しいお歌をわらわにたくさん聞かせておくれ。
No wonder she didn't hear the brutal. No wonder she didn't hear the brutality.
だからマリアはずっとお歌を歌ってた。ずっと歌ってたんだよ。だから何も聞こえない、わからない。そしたらバトラたちがやってきたんだよ。
それを信じろってのか？バカにするんじゃねえぜ。
Actually, Battler, I feel like you're stupid.
じゃあ今度は誰を疑う？マリアを疑う？マリアをこの場で殺してみる？そんなことしてもベアトリーチェはいなくならない。これで第8の番は終わったよ。ベアトリーチェはよみがえる。
ふざけんな。もうそんな話は金輪際ごめんだぜ。魔女なんているもんか。煙に巻かれてたまるか。俺は認めねえぞ。ベアトリーチェなんていいね。絶対に俺が認めねえ。だから存在なんかさせねえ。蘇りもさせね
It just shows that he's just so afraid of it. Like you think He really loves to play stupid at times. Like I feel like this is the kind of BN where they just written him to be like a complete delusional of a character, of a main protagonist.
伝説は永遠に伝説のままだ。この俺がそんなことを認めねえ。
Like after over 30 fucking parts in, you know, all the magic circle, you know, Battler giving Maria the magic charm that repelled, you know, prevented Beatrice from even choosing Maria as a sacrifice. Oh, you know, like how can you tell if someone went through the locked door, huh? Or it went through. You know, it's not like you can make a phone call when the phone's already cut. Okay, you know, keep playing stupid. Like, it's not like I would have to record it and have to make a, you know, such a very simple rant. You see how much of a dog shit of a character, of a main protagonist that is. You know, Battler. Oh my god. It's so absurd.
よせよバトラー。マリアが殺したわけでも見殺しにしたわけでもない。ベアトリーチェが来てマリアは抵抗できず従わざるを得なかっただけだぜ。
I mean, I already cussed it out, and even though I deleted my the recording, I have to do it. Then I have to do it again. So.
あれ
What?
夏日おばさん
Man, you four were like arguing with each other, and you telling me you didn't like keep watching Natsuki?
おばさんがいない
Oh my god.
あれ
You were like, what? What do you mean, what?
母さんどこ行ったの？
Where the hell would she run off like that?
さっき手紙を読みながら一人で出て行ったよ。
A letter? That makes sense. The culprit must be so exhilarated now that we've reached the 8th twilight. They might have left the letter so that they could brag even more. We were so wrapped up in questioning Maria that we forgot to look for her letter. But even as well-armed as she was, why had she left the room by herself in this dangerous mansion after reading it? Jessica tried to chase after her and tugged at the handle to the door, but it resisted strangely and wouldn't open.
母さんお母さん何これ開けて開けて
Wait, so the door isn't locked on the inside, so someone must have like jammed the door from the outside and blocking it. It was only natural. Natsuki had picked up the candle stand which Battler had thrown at the wall, and which had fallen to the floor. She had then skillfully wedged it between the doorknobs on the double doors like a bolt, holding them closed. The intricate design of the candle stand caused it to get caught solidly, and it really did make a sturdy seal on the door. Couldn't you just break the windows and get out from there? The tragic scream of a daughter for her mother. Did it reach Natsuki's ears or not? Oh my god, fucking Natsuki. I can't believe you're gonna go on and Leroy Jenkins it. Natsuki's figure was alone in the entrance hall. It was the place decorated by the portrait of Beatrice. Natsuki threw down Beatrice's last letter, the one she had read in the parlor. Is it in tips though? No, it's not. Like, I read through like, you know, 3 letters, but it doesn't really automatically add to the 4th one. I guess maybe it won't. Maybe it will add, maybe it won't. I don't know. So she stood on Beatrice's last letter, the one she had read in the parlor, readied her rifle again, and in a voice that rang clear, yelled in the massive space that was the entrance hall.
後ろ宮家代表後宮夏日です。姿を見せなさい、黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェ。
The entrance hall was dimly lit, other than a faint light which shone on the center of the room. Everything was blotted out by the jet-black darkness. That darkness. Butterflies glittering in gold squirmed, twinkled, and sneered. Natsuki gave one more huge gulp and pointed the cold barrel of the gun at the gold butterflies.
ようやく
You're pointing a gun at the butterflies?
姿を現しましたね。
Oh my goodness.
あなたのような存在が本当に存在したなんて、私は未だ信じることができない。
Still can't believe that something like you really exists.
でもそれは問題ではありません。
Oh no, you can't take this on. There's no way you're gonna take on with this sort of witchcraft.
後宮家の代表であると自負する私と後宮家の当主を引き継いだと自称するあなたが今この場にいる。あなたが本当に魔女なのかどうかは今となっては些細な問題です。
Oh boy.
さあ決着をつけましょう。後宮家を真に引き継ぐ者はどちらか。この後宮夏日か、あなたベアトリーチェか。あなたの決闘の申し出、謹んでお引き受けさせていただきます。
Challenge accepted. Oh boy. The gold butterflies slowly formed a human shape, which walked into the dim light. Oh? Do we get to see Beatrice after all these parts? Natsuki readied the rifle and glared. The witch raised her golden staff overhead and laughed. Oh my god, this is it! Let's go! Natsuki's finger slowly squeezed the trigger. Oh shit, son. Battler made an all-out dash at the door and rammed into it, crushing the candle stand that had been barring it and making it possible for a big gap to be opened in the door. He kept kicking the candle stand through that gap, and the door was finally released. The gunshot. At that time, they heard it. They certainly heard the crisp sound of gunfire ring out once. Well, let's investigate that gunfight.
ジェシカちゃん、一人で先走っちゃいけない。
今のは銃声だぜ。夏代おばさんが撃ったんだ。
At whom? At the culprit. The noise had come from the entrance hall, and the entrance hall looked like a stage, like the heroine of a tragedy on the ground and bathed in light, arrayed in the beauty of that silence. Aunt Natsuki lay face up, crumpled on the floor. Half crazed, Jessica ran up to Aunt Natsuki. On Aunt Natsuki's forehead, it was almost as though a sparkling shard of pigeon blood ruby had been placed there. And from it, one stream of blood makeup passed by her eye and began to traverse her face. The faint smell of gunpowder smoke came from the barrel of the rifle Aunt Natsuki still grasped. Huh? Then she shot herself in the forehead. In the forehead? Why? Are you telling me that this sort of witchcraft went on to where Natsuki just suicided herself, but there was no gunfight? What do you mean you don't get it? Jeez, I don't think Natsuki is that stupid to shoot herself.
どうしておばさんは一人で抜け出してどうして自分の額を撃ち抜いてるんだ
The
よ
fuck do you mean? Oh my god.
マリアちゃん、夏日おばさんは手紙を読んでから部屋を出たんだよね。手紙がない。
There's no letter?
くそ、おばさんは何を読んでどうしてここに誘い出されたんだ。
知らねえぜそんなことはどうでもいいぜ。
Now it's only Jessica, George and Battler, and Maria. The four are remaining.
なんなんだよ。どうして自殺なんだよ。
Oh gee, I wonder... I want to ask the same question.
私を置いてくんだよ。
Jessica clung to her mother's corpse, crying earnestly. I'm pretty sure this one is updated too, right? Yeah, everyone is dead except the four kids. Ushiromiya Natsuki, found shot to death in front of the witch's portrait. How imprudent of her to challenge a witch with nothing but a mere gun. Of course she'd end up like this. What do you mean she shot her? What do you mean, why did she shoot herself? She's not that dumb. Surely it's something else. My body was consumed with an anger I didn't know what to do with, and I snatched the rifle from Aunt Natsuki's hand. I spun around, pointing the barrel of the gun into the darkness on all sides, as though I was pointing a light from a lighthouse, trying to find the culprit. George Aniki, even in this situation, was trying to calmly figure something out, but that might have been a fruitless effort. And Maria, and only Maria, was completely indifferent. So this is all supposed to be some kind of predetermined fate? No, that's not it. This is all a prelude to a wonderful world. The door to the golden land will finally open.
第9の晩に魔女は蘇り、誰も生き残れはしない。
You know what this means? The four, including Maria, will die, but they'll end up...
そして第10の晩に旅は終わり、黄金の里へ至るだろう。
The power of the treasure.
これで全部終わったね、ベアトリーチェ。おめでとう、おめでとう。だからマリアを導いて、あなたの話してくれた黄金鏡へ。
Does it? Is there anything in tips? No. Not even Grimoire. I'm pretty sure I reread everything by now. Lead me to the golden land. The golden land you told me of.
今こそ
Just take us away. There, all of the dead will be revived, and even lost love will be restored. So, in Maria's eyes, it's just as though all of today's tragedies didn't happen. It's as though all the time she spent deprived of love never happened.
いい加減にしやがれ。何が楽しい、何がおめでたい。この島には18人いた。14人死んだ。残りは俺たち4人だ。俺は絶対に死なねえぞ。夜が明けるまで、いや台風が過ぎ去ってまた船着き場に海猫たちが帰ってくるまで俺は絶対に死なねえんだよ。
I feel like the reason why he's so in denial is only because he's trying to prevent and he's trying to keep himself alive.
生き残ってやる、生き残ってやる、絶対。
This is what we call a stubborn donkey.
よしなよバトラー。ベアトリーチェに銃なんて意味ないよ。それに生き残るも何ももうおしまいなんだよ。もう旅は終わったんだよ。ほら時計を見てごらん。
Well, what's the time? Huh? The clock? Hearing those words, I looked at my wristwatch. Both needles were almost touching near the top. Very soon, it will be 12 at night. In other words, 2400 hours. It will struck midnight. When you think about it, isn't 2400 is a strange time? It can be called 24, and it can also be called 0. It's the hour of the culmination of the previous day, and at the same time, it's hour 0 as the next day begins. Maria suddenly called out happily and ran towards the darkness. It was almost as though Beatrice was somewhere in that darkness, and Maria was running up to her. As Jessica hugged her mother's corpse, as George Aniki stood there, confused, I looked down the barrel of the rifle, gazing into the darkness. The space in front of Beatrice's portrait lay in that direction, and the thing Maria was running up to was the portrait's subject. You gotta be kidding me. This is just impossible. Like, I'd fall for something like this. Witches don't exist. I won't accept it. Something like you shouldn't exist because this is a human world. You think I could accept something that's not human? I definitely won't accept it. When I pulled hard on the rifle's lever, the cartridge was ejected, fell on the floor, and a new cartridge was loaded. Then I sighted the witch down the barrel. Maria turned around, still clinging to the golden witch. She turned around.
だから意味なんてないってば。
She turned around. Oh my goodness. Meaningless.
ベアトリーチェに鉛玉なんて意味ないってば。
Your bullets are useless.
バカだね、人間は。
Battler dumb as hell.
俺は魔女なんて認めねえぞ。貴様は誰だ。一歩でも動いてみろ。指一本でも動かしてみろ。 いつをぶち込んでやる。
Look at you being overconfident. The insane laughter. Oh, the spirit. It has awakened. As the witch. No, the witches laughed. Even the large clock in the hall joined in on their laughter. It was probably telling us that the time was 2400, aka 12 p.m. It was both a tone telling us that we had reached the culmination of this day, and a tone informing us that all had returned to nothing. The rule that the witch would win when time ran out had already been revealed.
バトラー、ジョージお兄ちゃんにジェシカお姉ちゃん、旅は終わって魔女はよみがえったよ。
And none shall be left alive. The witch shall praise the wise and bestow 4 treasures. One shall be all the gold from the golden land. One shall be the resurrection of all the dead souls. One shall be the resurrection of the love that was lost. One shall be to put the witch to sleep for all time. Sleep peacefully, my beloved witch, Beatrice. And it ends just like that. Oh, it is time. Does this mean... Did the game end? Or I don't know. Is it... Hello? Notebook pages and a wine bottle. The storm passed, and the leaden clouds that has enshrouded the island for so long began to clear away. Sunbeams shone from the rifts between the clouds. Yesterday's storm seemed like a lie. Just as someone had wished, the seagulls returned to the harbor once again and let their lively cries be heard. Afterwards, the police arrived and conducted an investigation of the scene. The corpses of the children, who are believed to have survived until the very end, were never found. However, from the body parts that were discovered and the unimaginable gruesome nature of the scene, the police were forced to conclude that the chances of survival were none of the 18. And no, it went really dim. Just how gruesome was the banquet of the witch, and how beautiful was the golden land? Those tales are for them alone to tell amongst themselves. They have no tale for those who arrived at the banquet had ended. One can only but imagine what transpired during the course of those 2 days. However, the witch was fickle. She made a point of leaving behind this tale, which had no need to be told, and permitted to spread. A few years later, a strange wine bottle drifting on the waves in the quayside of the neighboring island was recovered by a fisherman. Stuck beside were tightly rolled notebook pages, crammed full of the edge of minuscule writing, and so on of the such. Because I try to read fast, but it doesn't work. So there were notebook pages, and while the notebook pages tell of the mysterious incident, they do not tell the truth behind it. In fact, perhaps not even the writer of the notebook knew the truth. Perhaps she may have desired to know. According to the writer's signature, her name was Ushiro Maria. Result of an all-out police search, part of Maria's body was discovered, a piece of her jaw. Through dental records. Survival would be hopelessly dim, no other parts were found or identified. By the time you read this, I will probably be dead, although there are many or may not be a corpse. You who have read this, please uncover the truth. That is my only wish. To this day, the truth of the witch legend serial murder case has not been brought to light. And here, that was the first game with the results. Krause died in the first twilight. Rosa, 6 were sacrificed for the first twilight. The couple on the second twilight. 4th was Kinzo by the head. Kanon by the chest. Genji, Nanjo, and Kumasawa were part of the stomach, leg, and knee. Revived, missing, and the such. Battler, he denies the existence of the witch, will she invite him to the golden land? They shall praise the wise and grant or treasure in the lone land, and his lost fiancée, for the loved one, the love of the brother. The winner is Beatrice. All 18 died. When seagulls cried, none were left alive. Now this is what we call an intense credits with the results of the first episode that has been concluded. Umineko no Nakukoro ni, Rondo of the Witch and Reasoning. So that is 1 out of 8 episodes done. I'm pretty sure I get tips as well. Legend. Oh. New elements added. The Golden Witch has prepared a gift in commemoration of your recent sojourn. The new elements may be assessed from the title screen. So let's see what we got here. Start. I'm pretty sure unlocking this would unlock this episode. So we got Tea Party, Picture Box, and Music Box. So let's see. So we got some achievements unlocked. All the tips. We browse all the characters. And let's see here. There's so on and so forth. Go on trophy. What do we got in the music box? Oh shit. Look at all the music. And these are the rest of the music that I have not unlocked. I'm pretty sure it's later on the episodes. Picture box. Oh wow. Would you look at that? Yeah, this is the one I had used for the thumbnail in one of the parts. And let's see here. Is there any other CG? There is some CGs that have fallen to deaths. And pretty sure there's more. Oh, there's Eva. What a face. And these two, I think they're secrets. Beatrice. That's it. Okay. So far, there's no sprite of Beatrice yet. But who knows? But yeah, that was the final part of the first episode. I will do more, but if anything, if you want to stick around, you see me do some more parts. It's rare for me to say it, but be sure to click the bell to be notified, so you won't miss out on these parts. Aside from that, hope you enjoyed the whole entire thing of the first episode. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and then but first, next part, we'll go through the tea party. And we'll go for the second episode. So, stick around. You'll have a good one.